the essence of the eternal divine spirit, the one that causes all that exists to exist, the one that is self-existent.
How many men have children and the children never meet their father? See, you created a void in that child because you are a part of that child.
Black power! Black power!
Black power!
Black power!
Black power!
Are you feeling fatigued and can barely make it through the day without some type of caffeine?
Are you on a journey of healing your body but need a little help?
Then alkaline water is what you really need.
Alkaline water has many benefits. Alkaline water can help restore pH balance in the body. Consuming beverages such as soda and coffee can make your body acidic.
Did you know that too much acid in your body has been linked to an intimate heart disease, obesity, diabetes, autoimmune disease, chronic pain, and other chronic conditions like gout and arthritis?
Those who use alkaline water have reported increased energy levels, clearer skin, reduction in inflammation, better digestion, and many other health benefits. I've used alkaline water for years, and it's been instrumental in sustaining my health when I was diagnosed with sarcoidosis.
Are you ready to take responsibility for your body's health?
If the answer is yes, then our alkaline water is just what you need. Bring your own bottles. It's only $3 for each gallon. To place an order or for more information, you can reach us at 773-846-3091. Thank you in advance for your support.
Hi, my name is Sister Ebony Stevenson. I am your announcer for today. Welcome to the Toma Nation's weekly Sunday worship service from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. every Sunday at 616 East 71st Street here in Chicago, Illinois, and also live on Facebook. If you would like more information, you can reach us at www.facebook.com/TomaNation2 or give us a call at 773-952-8302. Now I am going to recite our opening. In the name of the eternal divine spirit, the one that causes all that exists to exist, the one that is self-existent, the one who directs the sunships of millions and trillions of years, and the one who made time the seed of the universe, known among the ancient Kemites or Egyptians as Amun-Ra and Aten, among the Hebrews as Ansar, Yahweh, and Elohim, among the Christians as Lord, God, and Jehovah, among the Muslims and Islamic world as Allah, the one God, among the Rastafarians as Jah Rastafari, among the Yoruba tribes of West Africa as Odumare, Eshu, and many other Orisha names. I bear witness that all of these names refer to the same one, Almighty Spirit, and it is to that essence which I give reverence and to whom I submit. I boldly proclaim that we, the descendants of those black men and women who survived the transatlantic slave trade, are the Lost 13 tribe, born in North America, and are of a Nubian Kemetic lineage. I further proclaim that the blood of all the nations of the earth flows through our veins. I greet you in the ancient but holy words of peace, Hotep, Shalom, Assalamu alaikum, Habaragani, Alafia, and Ashe. Now I am going to recite the 13 points of what we believe and know. Number 1. We believe and know that we are not to repeat the mistakes of the past prophets and messengers of the Almighty Creator of the heavens and earth. Number 2. We believe and know that we can only establish an economic base through the application of the knowledge of self and the incorporation of the ideologies of the Honorable Marcus Garvey, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Mahatma Gandhi, and Ben Ami. Number 3. We believe and know that the prophets and messengers of the Holy Bible, the Holy Quran, and the Kemetic Holy Books were all black. Number 4, we believe and know that Jesus Christ of 2,000 years was and is a black man. Number 5, we believe and know that the knowledge of the Almighty Creator goes beyond books written by the prophets and messengers of the Almighty Creator. Number 6, we believe and know that in order to promote and coordinate unity, we must first recognize and accept the uniqueness of being able to worship our Creator, regardless of religious denomination, name, title, ritual, particular dress, or holy book, as long as it recognizes the Almighty Creator of the heavens, earth, and the universe as supreme. Number 7, we believe and know that it is impossible to tell the truth without exposing the wicked governments of the world. Number 8, we believe and know that the United States government, in collaboration with other European nations, have a denial objective to exterminate dark-skinned people of color off the earth through the act of genocide. Number 9, we believe and know that some of the most effective methods that are being used today are AIDS, birth control, alcohol and drug abuse, vaccinations, gang and domestic violence, systematic elimination of trauma centers, the public school system, and public aid within the black communities of America and the world. Number 10, we believe and know that the last trick that Satan is playing on us is the dividing of us by our religious differences, religious gangbanging. Number 11, we believe and know that the conflict between the various religions are comparable to the conflict between various street gangs within the inner cities of America. Number 12, we believe and know that the war on drugs and gangs is a diabolical plot to disarm the black community of weapons, break up the black family, withdraw our constitutional rights, also kill and incarcerate young black males under the undercover code name Able 2029. And number 13, we believe and know that every letter, shape, sound, and numerical value contains esoteric information that completely transcends the specific contextual meaning of the word. Our purpose: to bring about the growth of a righteous community in accordance with the laws of the Creator of the universe, under the leadership and guidance of Brother Minister Raheem Kossed Oxen, to provide solutions to the social and economic ills that plague the communities of urban America. Our goal: to re-educate and retrain youth and young adults to develop positive moral values as an alternative to delinquent behaviors, because you can't rebuild a community and not rebuild the minds of the residents of the community to meet the responsibilities of maintaining the community's image. Our mission: to enhance the economic development of our communities by establishing businesses, real and personal properties, thereby creating jobs and/or entrepreneurship training programs that will reverse the concept of leaving the community to buying back the community. Our motto: let your light so shine before men that they shall see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. Matthew 5:16. Now we're going to recite our salute to the red, black, and green flag. Everyone put your right fist in the air and repeat after me. Here's to this flag of mine, the red, black, and green. Hopes in its future bright, Africa has seen. Here's to the red of it, great nations shall know of it. In time to come, red blood shall flow of it. Historians shall write of it, this flag of mine. Here's to the black of it, 400 million's back of it, whose destiny depends on it. The red, black, and green of it, oh flag of mine. Here's to the green of it, young men and women shall dream of it, face shots and shells for it, maidens shall sing of it, waving so high. Here's to the whole of it, colors bright and pole of it, pleased is my soul with it, regardless of what is told of it. Thanks to God for giving him this great flag of mine. Please keep your right fist raised high in the air as we sing our Black National Anthem. Black power, black power, black power. Black power is the power to define, develop, and defend that which is in the best interest of Black people.
Oh, there I am. Greetings, my name is Sister Ebony Stevenson. I am your lecturer for today. Welcome to the Toma Nation's weekly Sunday worship service located in the Grand Crossing community of Chicago, Illinois. Come and be fed by God's messengers. You can join us each and every Sunday at 616 East 71st Street. I am going to start out by reciting our opening. In the name of the everlasting Father, he that causes all that exists to exist, he that is self-existent, he who directs the sonships of millions and trillions of years, and he who made time the seed of the universe, known among the ancient Kemites as Amen-Ra and Anten, among the Hebrews as Ansav, Yahweh, and Elohim, among the Christians as Lord, God, and Jehovah, among the Muslims in the Islamic world as Allah, the one God, and among the Rastafarians as Jah, Rastafari. I bear witness that all of these names refer to the same one, Almighty God, and it's to him whom I give reverence and to whom I submit. I boldly proclaim that we, the descendants of those Black men and women who survived the transatlantic slave trade, are the Lost 13 tribe, born here in North America and are of a Nubian Kemetic lineage. I further proclaim that the blood of all the nations of the earth flows through our veins. I greet you in the ancient yet holy words of peace, Hotep, Shalom, Assalamu alaikum, Habaragani, Alafia, and Ashe. All right, peace, brothers and sisters. As I said before, my name is Sister Ebony Stevenson, and the title of my lecture today is called Black to Basics. So when you hear Black to Basics, take a minute and think about what does that mean in your mind. When we look at across this country is on fire, literally, mentally, and physically. It's very important for us as Black people, and that is who this message is for, to learn how to get Black to basics. And when you say basics, basics can cover a variety of things. It can cover us truly starting to think about where we stand in America and what we need to do as Black people in order to prosper, whether that's prospering getting off the economic bottom, whether that's prospering mentally, prospering spiritually. What do we need to do in this time of chaos and peril that we find ourselves in? Excuse me. And the reason why I say chaos and peril is because it doesn't matter what social media you on, from TikTok on down to Facebook. It doesn't matter if you playing a game on Twitch. It doesn't even matter if you just minding your business and you just checking your email or you watching the news. Everybody is talking about what's going on politically in this country. And a lot of people have different emotions. And see, this is our problem. Everybody's in their feelings right now. The people who voted for Trump in their feelings, the people who didn't vote for Trump in their feelings, the people who didn't vote at all in their feelings. And we got to get to the point where we get out of our feelings so that we don't get caught up in the ruckus, because this is what always happens with us. They put this stuff out on in the media. You know, this is what Trump is going to do. This is what he's going to cut. This is who he's going to target. And we get so caught up in the uproar that we don't pay attention to what's going on in our communities and what's really going on behind the scenes. And that's how we keep getting taken out, because we keep getting caught up in this overflow of what's happening with everybody else instead of being strategic about what we need at home and in our own communities. Excuse me. So I'm going to start off by playing this video that I thought was really relevant to today. I'm going to share my screen. Give me 1 second.
I have a dream. My poor little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today.
I must confess that that dream that I had that day has at many points turned into a nightmare. Now, I'm not one to lose hope. I keep on hoping. I still have faith in the future. But I've had to analyze many things over the last few years, and I would say over the last few months. I've gone through a lot of soul-searching and agonizing moments. And I've come to see that we have many more difficult days ahead, and some of the old optimism was a little superficial, and now it must be tempered with a solid realism. And I think the realistic fact is that we still have a long, long way to go, and that we are involved in a war on Asian soil, which, if not checked and stopped, can poison the very soul of our nation. I'm not going to say that all of our problems will be solved if the war in Vietnam is ended, but I do say that the war makes it infinitely more difficult to deal with these problems. When a nation becomes obsessed with the guns of war, it loses its social perspective, and programs of social uplift suffer. This is just a fact of history, so that we do face many more difficulties as a result of the war. It's much more difficult to really arouse a conscience during a time of war. There is something about a war like this that makes people insensitive. It dulls the conscience. It strengthens the forces of reaction, and it brings into being bitterness and hatred and violence. I think the biggest problem now is that we got our gains over the last 12 years at bargain rate, so to speak. It didn't cost the nation anything. In fact, it helped the economic side of the nation. Lunch counters and public accommodations. It did.
All right, so that was very interesting. You probably have seen or heard that before, and how the video started out with, you know, King's "I Have a Dream" speech, and then it transitioned into him talking about his reflections on the civil rights movement. And, you know, the Vietnam War was going on during that time. And so you can see his energy was different from when he did that initial I Have the Dream speech, because he had been in the churches. He had been in the civil rights movement for a long time when that second video was recorded. And he saw what was going on when you talk about, was integration truly the solution to the problem that Black people were facing? And then it's interesting also that I don't think people bring enough attention to, when he did the reflections and, you know, he talked about the social services, like when this country is focused on one thing, something like war, right? Something that's divisive, like the other stuff, it gets pushed to the side. So like social services are no longer a priority. Supporting people in this country are no longer a priority. And what are we seeing right now? The first thing you hear is this is going to get cut. This is going to get cut. These are going to be the cuts. All you hearing is cuts, cuts, cuts. And the cuts are driving us crazy because we're on the economic bottom as Black people, and a lot of Black people depend on those social services. You hear everybody talking about, oh, there's going to be cuts to SNAP. You need to work. You need to do this in order to continue to receive SNAP. There's going to be cuts to housing programs like Section 8, right? There's going to be cuts to medical benefits and all of these things. We wouldn't be going crazy about these things if we weren't depending on these social programs to survive. But this reminds me also of, excuse me, all the things that was going on the last time Trump was elected. And then we had COVID, right? And everybody was going crazy. The Democrats were blaming the Republicans and all of this. And something that we can't get caught up in the okie doke, because guess what? As Black people, it's racist Republicans, it's racist Democrats, it's racist Green Party. Like, none of that matters at this point. What we're talking about is, how can we as Black people survive what's coming? And the first step that we have to do is, we cannot get caught up in this nonsense. And so mental health and prioritizing your mental health is going to be very important for us as a people. And we don't talk about this enough. We don't talk about how important it is to make sure that you're okay, to make sure that your children are okay, to make sure that your spouses are okay. Because if you look at what's going on, even in our own community, there are so many people who are suffering from mental health issues, and the way that we treat mental health in our community as a stigma. And so the next thing that I'm going to play is this excerpt that I thought that was very great. Because when we talk about staying out of the muck, we got to prioritize mental health. Because what you see in now is nothing compared to what we're going to experience over this next 4 years under Trump. It's nothing compared to what we're going to continue to experience under the fall of America. And so we've got to make sure that we are mentally okay. We got to make sure that we're prayed up. We got to make sure that we're economically okay, so that we can weather the storm that's facing America right now. And so I'm going to share this excerpt. And if you're watching live and you would like the links to any of these videos that I played, do feel free to drop us a comment on YouTube or Facebook, and I can share those links with you directly. Or you can always email us at tomanation13@gmail.com, or shoot us a text message at 773-846-3091. Now I'm going to play this next video, and it's a YouTube short, and it's talking about mental health.
Hey y'all, it's Black History Month, and I would be mentioning the little elephant in the room, and that's mental health. Did you know that 63% of African Americans believe that depression is some sort of lack of inner strength? Hey y'all, it's Black History Month, and
Hold on one second. We're experiencing some technical difficulties. Can I unplug this? Okay, I'm going to share the video again. Give me 1 second.
Mental health. Did you know that 63% of African Americans... Hey y'all, it's Black History Month and I would be remiss to not mention the little elephant in the room, and that's mental health. Did you know that 63% of African Americans believe that depression is some sort of lack of inner strength? We can't go on believing this. What's even more disheartening is when people turn to substances to cope or even seek counsel from people who don't really have the tools to help us. Now, I will say we are making strides in improving mental health and bringing awareness to the importance of having these resources, right? But there's always work to do and room to grow. So I encourage you to check out our article because it has tons of resources and even dives into a little bit more about the barriers that Black students face with regards to mental health.
So that was in a YouTube short from college students talking about the barriers and the challenges that Black students face as far as accessing mental health resources. And like I said, if you guys want any of these links, if you would like us to share them with you, do feel free to drop us a comment on Facebook or YouTube. I just thought that was a good representation of what I was just talking about as far as making sure that during these next 4 years and beyond, that we prioritize our mental health as a community, that we prioritize our spiritual health. You know, here at Toma, we always say, stay prayed up. Like whatever positive outlets that you have, if it's prayer, if it's meditation, this is the time to get back on it. If you've fallen off your square, like I can use myself as a testimony. Like I know that I've got to get back on my regular early morning prayer because even I fell off, and they always say use yourself as an example. But now more than ever, like we've got to make sure that we're okay, because it's people walking around out here losing their minds over Trump. It's people arguing in their family about Trump is going to do this and Trump is going to do that. And it seriously reminds me of the nonsense during COVID when everybody was so focused on vaccinations and when unvaccinated people were the enemy and people were fighting in their families about what was going to happen. Like if you literally go on YouTube, there are people who are fighting with their families because one family member voted Democrat, one family member voted Republican, and now the family is at arms talking about, oh, well, you brought this to be. And we can't be like we were during COVID. We can't get caught up in this nonsense because we have to look at, with what's on the world scene and what Trump is doing, how it's ultimately going to impact us. And so I'm not going to spend this whole time talking about Trump, but I did want to talk about those solutions. And so, as I said, mental health is one of them. Utilizing your local mental health resources is nothing to be ashamed of. If you feel like you need to access those services, do utilize them. Prayer, you know, it's prayer is something, you know, your grandma used to say, you know, you gotta pray it up. So I wanted to share a couple of scriptures that I found because you can see it in people's faces sometimes when people are stressed out, because people don't know what is going on with the country. Nobody knows, what's going to happen tomorrow. And so I also wanted to share these scriptures that I thought would be very helpful. And then if you would like these scriptures to be sent to you, like I said, you can always feel free to shoot us an email at tomanation13@gmail.com or shoot us a text at 773-846-3091. So a couple of the scriptures that I found, they're all from King James version of the Bible. And I'm going to start out with Psalms 55:22. Cast thy burden upon the Lord, and he shall sustain thee. He shall never suffer the righteous to be moved. So when we talk about us at Toma, and we are a Black conscious righteous movement, when it's saying that the Creator will never suffer the righteous to be moved. So what does it mean? What is that telling you? During this time of unrest, how can you become righteous? How can you become more righteous? How can you join the ranks of the righteous? So another scripture is Philippians 4:6. Be careful for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be known unto God. John 14:27. Peace I leave with you, my peace I give unto you. Not as the world giveth, give I unto you. Let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid. That is a really powerful one, because when you find yourself, as us being Black Americans here, in living in Babylon, and how Babylon is falling, what does it mean to have that peace? What does it mean for you to walk in peace and be peaceful when everything around you is on fire? And so we've got to look at, what does it mean for you to be at peace in your heart and your mind as an individual? What does it mean for your family to be at peace so that your family is not troubled by what's going on around us? And this piece around, let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid. What does it mean for you as a Black family and us as Black people in this country to not be afraid of what's happening to America right now? If we focus on ourselves and focus on building our own nation and focus on what it means to be righteous, to get back to the place that we lost, we wouldn't be afraid with what's happening around us. We wouldn't be afraid with what's going on with these natural disasters. Why? Because there's a higher power protecting us, and it's up to us to become more righteous so that we can have access to that higher power. That's a different lecture. I wasn't trying to get off of that. Let me continue to read these scriptures, because I noticed it's 12:51. But like I said, if you would like us to share these scriptures with you and you're watching live on YouTube or Facebook, always shoot us an email at tomination13@gmail.com or send us a text at 773-846-3091. Proverbs 12:25. Heaviness in the heart of man maketh it stoop, but a good word maketh it glad. Romans 8:31. What shall we say? What shall we then say to these things? If God be for us, who can be against us? How does that sound to you? Like, well, what does that make you feel in your heart? What does that make you feel in your mind? If God be for us, who can be against us? Matthew 11:28-30. Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Romans 8:28. And we know that all things work together for good to them that love God, to them who are the called according to his purpose. To them who are the called according to his purpose. James 1:12. Blessed is the man that endureth temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord hath promised to them that love him. I can continue to go on. These are a lot. But like I said, if you would like us to share these with you, do feel free to reach out to us. And then I'm going to read one last one. Take therefore, this is Matthew 6:34. Take therefore no thought for the morrow shall take thought for the things of itself. Sufficient unto the days is the evil thereof. Whew, that's a lot. But I would like to share these with you. So feel free to drop us a comment if you would like these. So when you really think about where we are, it is January 26, 2025, and we are getting close to the month that we observe. Black History Month is in a couple of days, and we'll be sharing more about the previous speeches of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and how they relate to what's going on right now that we are experiencing under Trump. We got to walk a different way, like when we look at these next 4 years. And we got to be smart. There's no way you shouldn't be walking around and not know what sundown towns are. There's no way that you shouldn't know about the things that are going on in the different parts of the country. Like, we can't be caught unawares. Like, this is that time that they used to say you got to stay on your P's and Q's, because we have to understand it doesn't matter, excuse me, if Democrats or Republicans are in office, races are around us 24/7. And we know that this country was founded on the backs of Black people. Now, when we look at how we are impacted by what's going on, we cannot let these things affect us. When they talk about, oh, we're taking away affirmative action, we're taking away all of these social programs, or they're taking away all of these things that, you know, the civil rights, you know, that the civil rights fought for. I mean, if we had our own nation, we wouldn't need any of those things, right? And so don't get caught up in what you see on social media. Don't get caught up in what you see in the news. And really, you should be focusing on, what do I need to do as Black people to survive? What do I need to do to make sure that my family survives? And, you know, we talk about this a lot at the organization that I'm the president of, the United Black American Progress Association. When you look at us being on the economic bottom, anytime there's an economic downturn in this country, other people are affected more, because we're used to the government having their foot on our neck. We're used to being at the economic bottom. But what about other people? And so when you look at all of these things that people are talking about, now is a good time to start a business as a Black family. Now is a good time to think about looking at whatever side hustles that you can do to bring in more money, so that you're not as affected by these cuts to social services, because they're coming. It's not if, but when. And so, as us being on the economic bottom and depending on Section 8 and SNAP and all of these other things, now is the time for us to really look at, what does it mean to practice collective work and responsibility? That's truly, when you talk about prayer, when you talk about prioritizing your mental health, we also have to look at, as Black people, what does it mean for us to practice collective work and responsibility as a unit, so that we can survive what's to come? Like, when we talk about, you know, the law of nature, about what's at the bottom must rise to the top. While everything is sinking, this is our time to rise to the top. And how can we do that as a people? Collective work and responsibility. We talked about that a lot when we talked about the principles of Kwanzaa, but it's also something that we as a people should definitely look up. And there's so many things that you can look up now on social media or go on different websites. As you look at economic downturns as Black families, look at ways to get through economic downturns. Starting a side hustle or bringing in more income is one of those things. But there's all of these other things that you can do in order to capitalize on that, so that you're not affected by everything that's going on. And so I know that my time is coming to a close, but I wanted to share one last thing with you. And like I said, if you would like the links to these, definitely feel free to drop us a comment in the chat live on YouTube or Facebook, and now I'll share this with you. When you talk about, you know, collective work and responsibility, there's a connection between Black activism and collective work and responsibility. Because when you talk about, you need these things to build and maintain a community. So when we talk about, what does it mean for us to have collective work and responsibility during this time of chaos? Because that piece, along with the mental health and the spirituality, getting closer to God, getting back to prayer, getting back to meditation and all of these things, also something that I'm working on, getting back to health. What does it mean to prioritize your health during this time? Not just your mental health, but also your physical health, right? And so you've got to look at this, and I really would like to share this. I'm going to see if I can drop this link actually on Facebook. But I'll be continuing my lecture next month during Black History Month as we talk about Black heritage and creating Black heritage. What does it mean for us to practice collective work and responsibility during this time? What does it mean for us to unite around a common interest? What's the common interest that we have as Black people? Is it just survival? Or is there something greater that we're connected to that we have a common interest around that we can unite around? And there's also, that a belief that shared responsibility, collective work and responsibility, that it leads to collective empowerment. So what does it mean for us as Black people to be empowered collectively, not just individually, not just on this block or not just in this household, but what does it mean to us be empowered collectively? And so that'll be the things that I'll be talking about next month in my next lecture. I want to thank you so much for joining us for our Sunday worship service here at the Temple of Mercy Association, aka Tillman Nation, located at 616 East on 71st Street. If you would like to join us live next week, we are here in person at 12:30 p.m. If you would like any of the links that I talked about, or if you have questions about joining us live or joining this great movement, feel free to shoot us an email at tillmanation13@gmail.com, or you can shoot us a text at 773-846-3091. Thank you so much for joining us. Black Power, Black family. Joining us for our weekly Sunday worship service. We invite you and your family to join us live every Sunday at 616 East 71st Street at our new time from 12:30 to 1:30 p.m. and on Facebook from 12:30 to 1 p.m. If you have enjoyed what you have heard, please feel free to support us with a monetary gift on Cash App at $TOMANATION. Once again, that's $TOMANATION. This will conclude our live stream. The message you have been listening to will continue live here at the Tillman headquarters. We thank you, Black family. See you next Sunday. Black Power.
This is the eternal divine spirit, the one that causes all that exists to exist, the one that is self-existent.
How many men have children and the children never meet their father? See, you created a void in that child because you are a part of that child.
Black power! Black power! Black power! Black power!